can throw out the records. When these two Auglaize County rivals meet, it's the St. Mary's Rough Riders and the Wapakoneta Redskins, and it's yours next on Game Face Ohio. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into Harmon Field, where tonight the St. Mary's Rough Riders in town to renew a rivalry with the Wapakoneta Redskins. I'm Dan Hearn along with Paul Sadler, and we welcome you into the Minster Bank pregame show. Paul Sadler, a lot of storylines in this ball game year in and year out, because these two teams get together, it's always a good game.
Oh, it is, and there's many layers of intrigue to this game, especially this year, but most importantly, this is a very important game in terms of WBL standings as well as playoff positioning.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings in the Western Buckeye League, and you'll see the Wapakoneta Redskins are right there at the top at 8-0 and 7-0 inside conference play. St. Mary's comes in at 6-2. And they are 5-2 inside conference play. And
with the win last week and then the loss by Salina last week by Van Wert, Wapak has actually clinched at least a share of the Western Buckeye League for the second year in a row, the first time in school history that's happened.
The St. Mary's Rough Riders are coming off a 50-12 win over Defiance under Coach Doug Fry, and their offense is keyed by Mr. Spicer.
Yes, and we're going to get a chance to look at him first. Eric Spicer comes in second in the Western Buckeye League in rushing and in all-purpose yards, and third in scoring. Last week for against Defiance, he had 17 carries for 139 yards and a touchdown, and he has run for over 100 yards in 6 of their 8 games.
The Redskins coming off a win as well. They went up to OG, 35-17, their win up there, and they put together an impressive road win to claim a portion of the Western Buckeye League title. The the Rough Riders won the toss and have elected to receive, so we'll see their offense first, as you mentioned, Paul. And Tristan Meyer will tee it up at the 40-yard line. Paul, when you look at these two teams on paper, they each have a 1,000-yard running back. Their quarterbacks both complete at about 55%. Howell throws a few more interceptions than Huffman, but they're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, this is a very similar type of matchup for both teams. They run similar type offenses, and there's some reason why they're both very well coached.
We talked about Spicer, and he will handle it to start the ball game. He gets out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Let's go ahead and take a look at the St. Mary's starting offense.
And they're going to be led by onto the field by quarterback Dustin Howell, the junior. As you mentioned, completing 55% of his passes with 8 touchdowns, 7 picks on the season. Last week actually ran for 3 touchdowns. There you can see the starting offensive line. Zach Elsoff kind of leading the way for those guys, as well as sophomore Garrett Louth. Then skill players, mentioned Spicer, but Fisher and Mays definite threats as well.
Handoff goes up the middle and up to the 30-yard line, and that was Spicer on the first carry of the game. He picks up a couple.
Look at the Walpock defense. Again, a veteran group right there. Corey Crawford, correct that, is a senior. Two-way standout for the Redskins. Linebackers, probably the strongest linebacking core in the Western Buckeye League. Keel leads the way in tackles, but Cocker and Hall are right there as well.
St. Mary's to the line on a 2nd down and 7. And a handoff this time goes to Fisher. He goes off the left side, and he picks up 3 more.
Kind of finish off the starters here in the secondary. Cameron Locke, we'll talk more about him later. The standout was the first-team WBL cornerback last year.
The Redskins come into this game the 2nd best defense as far as total yards given up in the Western Buckeye League. They average 215 yards, making about 216 yards for their opponents each ball game. And they will face off against St. Mary's here on a 3rd down and 2, and it will be the big man Fisher up the middle to pick up the first down.
And I tell you what, it wasn't pretty, but that's exactly what Doug Fry football wants to accomplish right here. They want to stay ahead of schedule on first down by getting some good yardage on first and then second down to leave a third and very manageable like they did right there, and were able to convert their first 3rd down conversion of the game.
And for St. Mary's, they convert only 40% of their 3rd down, so obviously the reason they want to stay ahead of schedule, as you mentioned. Handoff up the middle again, and Fisher bowls his way forward to the 42-yard line. And Fisher has really picked it up, Paul, since an injury early in the season for St. Mary's.
Yeah, Fisher started to play both ways when there was the injury bug hit St. Mary's. Bo Kenning in the first game, and then Chase Roop in the second game. Now, Chase Roop, we'll see him a little bit. He is now dressed, number 17. He was a two-way starter for them in week 2, having to pick up on some offensive duties. So starting to get a little bit more healthy here towards the end of the season.
Spicer looking for the corner, brings it to the near side, and he's pulled down as he gets across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Be about 3 yards short of the first down.
Nice tackle right there by Nate Elsass. If he doesn't kind of pull down Spicer, could have went for some big yardage. But once again, the Rough Riders kind of where they want to be on 3rd down with 3rd and about 2. And, you know, we kind of mentioned how these two teams look similar. Well, one of the big reasons why is Coach Doug Fry. Coach Doug Fry, in his second stint back here with St. Mary's in his second season, got them back to where they're kind of used to being, was the head football coach of Wapak for the 4 years prior to that. It really got them pointed in the right direction. Then Travis Moyer just kind of keeping the trainer rolling.
Here is Fisher again on 3rd down, and he pushes his way forward to the 49-yard line. Depending on the spot, he should have the first down.
And again, this is kind of a strength versus strength. You mentioned before, Wapak first in the Western Buckeye League in defense in terms of points allowed. But when it comes against the rush, they're second in the league, which is still pretty darn good. St. Mary's is 3rd in the league offensively. So again, you have strength against these two teams. And while Howell will put the ball up in the air a little bit, the strength of this team is definitely on the ground.
7th play of the drive coming up here for St. Mary's. Schleif, second leading receiver for St. Mary's, lines up to the left, and it'll be Spicer through the left side across the 45 and down to the 42-yard line.
Redskins claiming that the ball came out, but the officials did say that the ball was down. So, again, really nice gain there on first down. Kind of stayed between the tackles so far in all the plays. The Rough Riders have really only went outside on the one play with Spicer.
And Paul, you talked about the possibility of a turnover there. That might be an area where Wapakoneta has the biggest advantage.
Yeah, coming into the game, Wapak is actually +8, which is second best in the league in turnover ratio. The Rough Riders are actually towards the bottom. They are 9th out of the 10 teams, and they've actually given it away 18 times this year.
Spicer up the middle for the first down to the 36-yard line.
So a really long drive here to start off with. I believe this is what the 9th play coming up right here.
Play, yeah.
And a terrific crowd here tonight. There is hardly a seat to be had as St. Mary's brought a tremendous crowd. Wapak has a tremendous crowd here in this great rivalry game.
Handoff Fisher left side, and he gets down to the 32-yard line. Gain of 4 on first down. And so far, St. Mary's is putting positive plays back to back. They have not had a negative play on this possession.
And that's how you stay ahead of schedule. You know, that's only a 4-yard gain right there. You know, a lot of people aren't always happy with 4-yard gains, but Doug Fry knows you string a couple of those together, you move the chains. And you're also keeping the ball out of the hands of the Redskins.
Pitch to Fisher going left side. He finds the corner and goes down close to a first down at the 26-yard line.
Well, kind of a trend breaker right there by running Fisher to the outside with the big man. We've seen them start to kind of mix up Spicer and Fisher, who's playing fullback, halfback, and that's almost giving them a little bit more diversity in their play calling.
We're already at the 7-minute mark here in the first quarter, and St. Mary's has held the ball since the opening kickoff. Howell under center again. Hand off to Fisher, who goes straight up the gut. not much there for him. Probably the shortest gain so far tonight for St. Mary's.
It is, and that's the biggest mush right there. And quite frankly, you know, I'm sure Doug Fry's got this team, St. Mary's team, kind of fired up for this game. You know, some of these are just out-and-out straight dive plays. You know, that looked like almost just what we used to call a wedge play, where you're just kind of pinching and just trying to get movement in the interior. So, you know, they're really trying to send a message with the way that they're playing there on the offensive line.
2nd down and 8 now. Here's Spicer to the left side, looking for the corner, and he'll get run out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, two nice plays right there by the Redskins. First on 1st down, and then that one not giving Spicer any type of space to be able to turn that corner. This now brings up 3rd and their longest in the possession, you know, about 3rd and 5.
You see Corey Crawford trying to get this crowd to make some noise behind this Redskin defense. Howell will hand it off to Spicer, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain, or maybe a yard on the play, but it'll bring up a 4th down.
And Crawford actually is the person that makes the play right there. Brings up a 4th down for the first time and a first critical play of the game. Obviously, a field position right here, no doubter. It's going to be 4th and kind of a long 3.
4th and 3, as Paul said. St. Mary's has not attempted a field goal this year.
No, and they've had to switch place kickers due to an injury, and we'll talk more about that later.
Wapak crowd to its feet on this 4th and 3, and it looked like there was movement on the St. Mary's side of the ball.
Yeah, they really wanted to get off the ball right there, and there's a little bit of miscommunication. Had several Rough Riders jump, and you know that's something that's plagued the Rough Riders a little bit, who come in as the 3rd most penalized team in the Western Buckeye League, and now that 4th and 3 becomes now a much tougher 4th and 8.
Right. St. Mary's will come to the line. They've only attempted 26 4th down conversions. They've converted 12 of those 26. And it'll be Tester with the carry going to the far side of the field, and he's going to get close to the 1st down. He will be spun down at the 15-yard line, and we'll see where they spot it. But he's looking like he has the 1st down, and he does.
Austin Tester, the big play threat for the Rough Riders. They put him in here. They want him to make a big play on the reverse, able to just get barely enough. Ethan Good was almost there to be able to make the play, but was right at the sticks, as we see just kind of the tail end right there on the replay. So a big 4th down conversion keeps this drive alive for the Rough Riders.
And Howell with the key block over there on the far side. And now some confusion.
Yeah, Fisher moved a little bit early that time, so 2nd false start penalty we've seen in the last 2 snaps.
We'll see what how the Rough Riders respond this time. Last time they were able to convert for 9 yards and a 1st down.
And this is the 15th play of the drive here, Dan. So, you know, we're just a lot of people getting settled in, and there's, you know, only 4:38 left, and home team has yet to see the ball.
Exactly what Coach Fry would like to see on that possession is a long, sustained drive. Not sure what the confusion is here. They'll march off the penalty back to the 20-yard line, so it'll be 1st down and 15 for the Rough Riders.
So even though the 5-yard penalty, I would not expect Coach Fry to go away from, you know, what they've been doing. You know, I think he wants to really pound the ball right here this whole possession.
Howell under center with a long snap count, and then hands it off to Fisher, who goes up the middle, and he dives through the pile inside the 15-yard line down to the 14.
Yeah, just a nice little subtle interior run cutback there by Fisher, able to get back that penalty yardage that was created, plus a yard more. Still behind schedule a little bit for 2nd and 9 now.
Under 4 minutes to play here in this first quarter, which has been all St. Mary's.
So this drive is now eaten up over 8 minutes.
Right. Surprising, though, Paul, when you look at time of possession overall for St. Mary's this season, it's pretty even with their opponent. You expect them to be in the lead in that category. Fisher going down hard as he gets down to the 7-yard line on that carry.
Fisher really running hard here in this possession. Yeah, so you would think that they would, but they also have guys that can score quickly. We haven't really seen it this possession, but Spicer is capable of big plays. So is Mays, and they've come through some big passing plays as well. So, but right here, they're just more important about getting these next 2 yards and ultimately another 7 yards to get in the end zone.
Slife brings the play in from the sideline and lines up far to the left. Howell will hand it off to Fisher, and another flag comes down.
And this one's going to be on the Redskins. And conversely, the Redskins are the third least penalized team in the Western Buckeye League, but that particular one, even with a half a distance penalty, should be enough to be able to move the chains without them having to execute a play.
So the offsides penalty on the Redskins will give St. Mary's first and goal at the 4-yard line.
So just a tremendously long drive right here for the Rough Riders, who is really trying to do most of their damage here between the tackles against the stout running defense of the Redskins.
Fisher and Spicer in the backfield behind Howell under center. It'll be Fisher up the gut, and he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him a gain of a couple, it looks like, down to the 2.
Yeah, that time they kind of threw him back a little bit. Keel led the way to stop that time, but they got to hold a couple more possessions here to be able to keep the Rough Riders off the scoreboard.
Well, you got to like the contrast that St. Mary's backfield offers with Fisher and Spicer back there.
Yeah, the Rough Riders, that they have, some complemental weapons right here, and they're pretty motivated for a lot of reasons, including, they've lost 5 straight in this rivalry to the Redskins.
Run up the middle, and no indication yet on the touchdown. Looks like they're going to mark him just shy of the end zone.
And Julius Fisher getting the lion's share of the carries right here. As you mentioned, he's a lot bigger back than Spicer. He's 190 pounds, and he runs with a lot of force. Again, primarily known as a defender, getting a chance to run the ball a lot more often. Now, historically, you see how close they are. I mean, that's about as close as you can be without scoring. A lot of times would not be surprised to see Howell not even hand this off and just take it up himself.
3rd and goal, and that's exactly what Howell will do. And no indication yet. There it is. Touchdown, St. Mary's.
What a tremendous drive. Took almost the entire quarter, only 1:20 left. All plays on the ground, includes a big 4th down conversion with the tester run, and the Rough Riders strike first.
So the Rough Riders get on the board on their opening possession and really took possession of the first quarter. Seth Voorhees out to attempt the extra point. His kick is up, and line drive through. And with just 1:20 remaining here in the first quarter of play, the Rough Riders get on the board first. You are watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
We are state of the art.
We are professional.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have a great day. We are service you can trust.
We are here for you.
With custom fabrication, a variety of roofing options, and exceptional roofing knowledge and expertise, Frost Roofing is committed to providing top-notch quality service on every project. To learn more, visit us online at frost-roofing.com and follow us on social media.
TSC can save you money. How? TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's Emerge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet into one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan, only from TSC.
TSC. Give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Call TSC.
Well, the St. Mary's Rough Riders put together a 19-play, 73-yard drive that covered 10 minutes and 37 seconds after taking the opening kickoff. And it ended with Howell's 1-yard run, and they now lead 7-0.
And if you would have asked Coach Fry, how would you want to start this game? He would say, we want to start with the ball, and we want to drive on a nice, long, time-consuming drive and put the ball in the end zone, and that's exactly what they got.
Well, the interesting part for Wapak is that 1 minute and 20 seconds is about a minute longer than what Cameron Locke needs to even this game up.
Yeah, Cameron Locke is our player to watch for Wapak, as he leads the Western Buckeye League in a lot of categories: all-purpose offense, scoring and touchdowns. He even leads the league in punting. So, you know, he's an all-around player, averages nearly 10 yards a carry.
I wouldn't put it past him to be able to punt it and return it himself.
I forgot to mention he's second in the league in punt returns, too.
Right. And here is Cockrell up the middle, and he picks up some tough yards up to the 40-yard line. So 5 quick ones for Cockrell.
As you mentioned, Aaron Huffman is the starting quarterback. Actually had a really good week last week. He was 6 for 8 passing for 98 yards, and he actually leads the Western Buckeye League in quarterback efficiency rating.
He is under center here, pitches to Locke, coming to the near side, and he cuts it down the near sideline across midfield, and he will break it down into St. Mary's territory to the 40-yard line.
Now, conversely, the Redskins, while they're capable of putting together long drives, they would be categorized more as a big play offense. And now it's not necessarily with big passing plays. It's a lot of times the big running plays from number 23 right there. As mentioned, he has averaged 10 yards a carry for an entire year, which is unbelievable. And he has 22 total touchdowns on the year.
He is lined up as the wideout to the left side, and he hauls in this pass from Huffman down to the 35-yard line, and a quick 5 there for the Redskins.
And right on cue, I was going to say they also put him in a whole bunch of different places to get him the ball and some space, and he's also the leading receiver for this Redskin team as well.
Right. The comparisons between Spicer and Locke are many, because they both lead the team in rushing and receiving and all-purpose yards. That's the end of the first quarter. The Redskins barely got to touch the ball, and they trail 7-0. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler, with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community, with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Back here for the start of the second quarter at Harmon Field. Wapakoneta Redskins with the ball, and Cameron Locke gets the touch. He's hit in the backfield, and he's going to be stopped for a loss. And a loss of a yard there. Brings up a 3rd down and long for Wapakoneta. So the Redskins now facing a 3rd down and 6 here in their first possession of the night, trailing 7-0. And Huffman will bring him to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to his right and a man in motion across the backfield. That's Miracle. Back to pass, getting some pressure, fires it out to the near side, and it's caught by Good near the 30-yard line, which will be very close to a 1st down. And we're joined tonight by the executive director of the Auglaize County United Way. And this is Randy Fisher. Randy, how you doing tonight?
I'm terrific. I'm delighted to be here.
Great. United Way does a lot of different things in the community. Both of these schools obviously located in Auglaize County, so I'm sure you're involved with both of these communities a lot.
Yes. Last year, United Way of Auglaize County helped 25,000 people across Auglaize County. And those numbers, as you can imagine, are pretty large in Wapakoneta, pretty large in St. Mary's, as they're the two biggest cities in the community.
Huffman under center on a first down, and it'll be locked to the near side. He's going to get down to the 25-yard line. And a 5-yard pickup for Cameron Locke. So what are the major initiatives that you're looking at for this year?
Well, we always focus on the building blocks to a better life, which are health and wellness, income, and education. So those three are those three impact areas where we put the major thrust of our money.
Okay. Redskins now facing a 2nd down and 5. And their offense has moved pretty readily against the St. Mary's defense as they try to answer back to a long opening possession for St. Mary's. Handoff, Cockrell up the middle of the field. He's up on his feet at the 20, and he'll pick up the first down as he gets down to the 16-yard line. So what are the different ways that people can get involved with the United Way if they are interested in doing that?
Well, what we really need this time of year, to be very honest with you, are funds. We fund 18 United Way partner agencies in our community who last year touched the lives of 25,000 people. If you stop and think about that, we have 46,000 people in our county, so that means better than 1 in 2 people receive United Way service at one point in time. So we really need funds to help make that happen.
Huffman back to pass, fires it left side, and in and out of the hands of Miracle at the 2-yard line. Good defensive coverage down there by Randy Slife. But Miracle did get his hands on the ball, just not able to hold on. So, Randy, if someone in one of these two communities or anywhere in Auglaize County wants to get involved, how do they go about getting in touch with you?
Well, we have a very active website. It's auglaizeunitedway.org. And we encourage people who live within the community to contribute to inside the community. If you work outside the community, we need you to check that box on your pledge card and give in Auglaize County right here where you live to help your friends and neighbors.
Cameron Locke gets the handoff, looking for the corner on the right side, gets down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and long again for the Redskins. They were able to convert on their last 3rd down. We'll see what they're able to do here on a 3rd down and 8. So you talked about the pledge card, and that's just something that someone needs to go to their HR department to get connected with?
You know, in about 40 different companies in Auglaize County, we have payroll deduction campaigns where you can just, a little bit comes out of your paycheck every week, and that's one of the easiest ways to make a difference. But we also have a lot of volunteer opportunities. We have a lunch buddy program in both Wapakoneta and St. Mary's schools.
3rd down and long. Huffman under pressure, fires it out to the right side, and it's caught by Locke at the 5-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Redskins as they're able to convert on another 3rd down and long and keep this drive moving.
And we're really excited about our Lunch Buddy program because it takes middle school students in that really tough transitional period and allows them to mentor with someone within the school for just over their lunch. So kids that are having a hard time, they have a positive influence in their life. It's a really great program.
Huffman will be under center, 2 receivers out to his left. And the handoff will go to the right side, and it'll be locked down to about the 2-yard line. No, check that. It'll be about the 3. So 2nd down and goal coming up. Now, do you have goals that you're looking to reach before the end of the year?
This year's United Way campaign goal is $330,000. We raised that 2 years ago. Last year was a little bit off, and we're really hoping to get back to that $330,000 watermark.
Big play here coming up for the Redskins. 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line. Handoff, Cockrell, right side, end zone, touchdown. So the Redskins into the end zone on their first possession. And these two schools trading punches here in this early stages of this ball game. Tristan Meyer will be out to attempt the extra point. Aaron Huffman with the hold. Meyer having another solid year kicking for the Redskins. The hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So, Randy, one more time, give us contact information for people that want to get involved with the United Way.
Sure. Hit our website at www.auglaizeunitedway.org. You can phone us at 419-739-7717, and we're on Facebook.
Great. Randy, thanks for your time.
Hey, I appreciate your opportunity.
All right, Redskins even things up here in the second quarter, and we are tied at 7 on Game Face Ohio.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Hello?
Call dropped?
Hello?
No more minutes? Lost your phone? Don't worry. Telephone service from TSC is always crystal clear. Never runs out of minutes. Never has a dead battery. And most importantly, in an emergency, it displays your address for 911. Plus, TSC keeps you connected with free calling in our expanded calling area. Ask about telephone service from TSC today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Tied at 7 apiece here in Wapakoneta. The Redskins answering the Rough Riders with a 12-play, 65-yard drive of their own. They didn't take quite as long, only 4 minutes and 47 seconds, but it ended with a touchdown. Spicer with the return here, and he's going to run into a pile of red jerseys at the 21-yard line.
And just as impressive as a drive did the Redskins put on right there, kind of led by Huffman with some key passes on third down to be able to move the chains, including right there inside the 10-yard line on a comeback route to Cameron Locke, which was, he was blanketed by Austin Tester, but Huffman put it the only place that he could put to be able to complete the pass on a key 3rd and long to prolong that drive.
Well, now we'll get an opportunity to see what the Redskins defense learned from that opening possession and see if they can respond here, because they didn't have a lot of answers for this Rough Rider offense on the first possession.
And the Rough Riders came out with a lot of emotion. We could see that when they took the field. They were all kinds of fired up coming out of the field, and they really carried that over into that first drive. Now that the game has kind of settled in, they've delivered the first punch. Walpock punched back. Now everyone's kind of settled in, and we can see who can out-execute who.
Well, the Redskins defense was out there for over 10 minutes on that first possession. And that's part of the game plan for St. Mary's. As Spicer takes it to the right side, he'll get positive yards across the 25 up to the 26-yard line.
And you mentioned before the similarities between Spicer and Cameron Locke. They're even kind of similar sizes. Although Eric Spicer is a year younger as a junior, he's averaging 7 yards a carry, and kind of that sweep is where he kind of makes the most of his yards. They're a little bit behind schedule on this particular set of downs, though, as now they have a 3rd and 5, which is a little bit longer than they would like to have.
St. Mary's was 3 out of 4 on 3rd down conversions on their opening possession. They face a 3rd down and 5 here, as Paul said. And Howell is with it. He rolls out to the right, going to keep it himself, and he'll dive forward to the 29-yard line, a couple yards short of a first down.
Yeah, and I think you wanted to have Julius Fisher there on the play action pass on that counter, something they haven't really shown a whole lot of. But the Redskins were not fooled, and there's nothing there, and Howell did good to be able to pick up what he could pick up. Now this is an interesting decision. Doug Fry is one of the more aggressive high school coaches in the area. Almost unheard of for people to want to go for it inside their own 30. However, you never know what Coach Fry's got dialed up, especially in a game with these kind of stakes.
Well, they've converted their only 4th down attempt so far tonight. Mays joins Fisher and Spicer in the backfield behind Howell. And now a timeout going to be taken by St. Mary's. 6:21 left here in the half, and we are knotted at 7 here in the rivalry ball game. You are watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
When you see an orange truck, you think G.A. Windsor & Son Company. But the next time you see an orange G.A. Windsor & Son truck, we want you to think green. Why green? Because G.A. Windsor & Son are the original recyclers. Using a modern fleet of trucks, G.A. Windsor & Son Company collects food co-products from restaurants, food retailers, and food manufacturers in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Kentucky. These food co-products are used to manufacture quality livestock and pet care feed ingredients. So the next time you see an orange G.A. Windsor & Son truck, think green.
TV everywhere.
TV everywhere?
That's right, everywhere. You can watch TV from your tablet, your phone, your laptop, any mobile device, anywhere you want.
Laundromat?
Yes.
Grocery store?
Yes.
Park?
Yes.
What if I wanted to watch TV at home?
All your favorite networks all the time. It's TV everywhere from TSC.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
So a timeout for Coach Fry as his team faces a 4th down and 2 at their own 29-yard line. And, Paul, what do you expect to see here?
Well, first of all, a lot of times we see that happen. They try to get you offside. They call timeout and send out the punt team. Coach Fry did not send out that punt team. He's got it out there, and really, they have a lot to play for. They're the underdogs here, and they're willing to take chances by rolling the dice here.
Could be a huge momentum turner if Wapakoneta is able to stop it, but Spicer able to get the corner and find the positive yards to pick up the 1st down to the 36.
And the players love it when the coach shows them confidence that I believe you can get 2 yards in this situation, and the Rough Riders are able to come through and deliver that for their coach and pick up a big 4th down conversion. And I cannot overstate how risky a call that is. If they don't pick that up, they're presenting field position on a platter to the Redskins.
Cameron Locke does 29-yard touchdown runs in his sleep. Howell will roll out to the near side, get some pressure from his opposing quarterback, Aaron Huffman, and the pass is incomplete. He was looking for Logan Mays over here on the near side.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough for those right-handers to roll to their left and get their shoulders square. And as a result, the passes tend to sail high a little bit. That's something that they have to work on when they're going to the left on rollout plays.
So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 for St. Mary's. And Paul, you mentioned during the break, this may be the last possession of the half, the way St. Mary's eats up clock. Here's Spicer cutting it back to the middle of the field, and he'll go down as he gets to the 41-yard line. Nice move by Spicer to bring it back to the middle of the field.
Yeah, you don't usually run outside plays to the short side, but St. Mary's tends to like to run towards their sideline. So there's a little bit of over pursuit action there by the Redskins, and a nice idea to cut it back. Brings back that 3rd and 5 that they had just a little bit earlier.
He was brought down by the Redskins' leading tackler, Dylan Keel, at the 41. So a 3rd down and 5 coming up. Handoff to Spicer. He's hit by Keel again, and he'll get maybe a yard. It'll bring up another 4th down.
And a missed assignment right there. Dylan Keel playing the outside right there at defensive end, totally unblocked, and you just can't not block him in that situation.
So it'll be 4th down and 4. And if you're going to go for it on 4th and 2 at your own 29, you got to go for it on 4th and 4 at your own 42, don't you?
I'm not sure you have to, because there's a big difference between 4th and 4 and 4th and 2. But then again, the field position does, make up for it a little bit. However, looking to still be the aggressor, Doug Fry keeps the offense out.
Jace Green, the big tight end, brought in place of the wideout Slife. And it looks like Coach Fry is going to take another timeout here to discuss this play before another 4th down play. So, Paul, kind of what we expected coming in. Tight ball game. Both teams playing to their strengths. I think the Redskins have thrown the ball a little more effectively.
Yes, and one thing that we are seeing kind of a little bit different here is it looks like Coach Fry is, during this timeout, kind of thinks that 4 yards might be a little bit too much and is sending out the punt team, so kind of a change here. So the Redskins look like they're going to get the first stop in this game defensively, but don't rule out a fake punt from Coach Fry's special teams as well. But yeah, getting back to what you mentioned, exactly, we knew this was going to be a tough game. St. Mary's, 3 weeks ago was still undefeated and state ranked along with the Redskins. They drop a couple games against Bath and Salina, rebound last week, and they still have a chance to win the league, but they have to win tonight and get some help next week.
Patton is the punter. Howell was the up man there. And Patton puts the foot into a big foot, backs Cameron Locke up to the 15-yard line. He will bring it to the near side of the field, puts a move on at the 21-yard line, and he'll be pushed out of bounds as he gets to the 27. So the Redskins will have 4 minutes and 22 seconds to work with here in the second quarter. And things are evened up at 7 apiece.
And the ball is in the Redskins' court. They finally did get a stop to that Rough Riders offense. Normally when it's 4:22 left in the second quarter, there would have been several possessions. And, this time was only 2, as this is only the Redskins' second offensive possession opportunity.
And it will be Locke going off the left side across the 30 and up to the 32-yard line. A gain of about 5 on first down. St. Mary's defense comes in 5th in the conference. They give up an average of 21 points a game, so statistically, the Redskins come in with a superior defense. And a penalty flag comes down here as the Redskins get started. We'll see. This looks like it's probably going to go against Wapakoneta, and it does.
So the second penalty of the game on the Redskins is going to cost them 5 yards, which eliminates the gain that they got on first down, going now to second down and 10.
Under 4 minutes to play now.
So as mentioned, Travis Moyer in the second year here at Walpock has an incredible 20-1 overall record. That one loss was a 4 overtime game in the regional finals against Trotwood Madison. Otherwise, his Redskins teams have been unblemished in the regular season.
That was a pretty good game. Huffman sets up the screen. This one is tipped and nearly taken away by Patton as he was trying to set up the screen to Landon Hall. And the Redskins, I think, fortunate that just ended up being an incompletion.
I'll tell you what an athletic and impressive recognition by Patton on that play. They're setting up the screen, as you mentioned, and we'll see right here on the back pedal, able to recognize it, go up there and kind of one hands it like sand volleyball style. At least the way I play it.
Really?
And yeah. And then Hall almost kind of comes up with it again, but it gets knocked away. So, two, really good Western Buckeye League players going after the ball right there. And this brings up a 3rd and 10.
I can't believe it took us till week 9 to have our first sand volleyball reference. Huffman back to pass, rolls out, still looking for someone to throw to downfield. Looks like he's going to keep it himself, and he will run out of bounds. He's hit out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, and it looks like Coach Moyer also saw his quarterback get hit out of bounds.
Yeah, but it was Giesige hit him in a little bit, and not worthy of a flag right there. Although there was some contact on the white, in this type of game, I think that's one you let go.
Well, it brings up a 4th and 4, and so St. Mary's gets their first stop defensively.
So we've seen a little bit for each team. We've seen both teams have 2 long scoring drives and now 2 stops by the defense.
Cameron Locke back to kick it away. He will boot it from the 25-yard line. It'll be fielded by Howell at the 29. He brings it to the near side of the field and lowers the shoulder up to the 39-yard line. So St. Mary's will have good starting field position on their next possession.
And they will not be in a hurry. And the Rough Rider teams have had a lot of success in the last drive in the second quarter. We've seen them actually cap big comebacks in the first half with scoring right at the end of the second quarter. And that's something that, this is a little bit unusual for the Rough Riders. They've had several games that they've won where they've fallen behind significantly and able to overcome those with big wins against Kenton and Van Wert and Sydney. And then even in a loss against Salina, where they fell down 21 points, came back to tie the game, only to lose the game late in the fourth quarter.
That one up to the 42-yard line for Spicer. Paul, they outscore their opponents 127-40 in the second half.
Must be the pep talk at halftime.
Must be. Or the continuous beating that the defensive line takes through the first half. Slife out to the right side as the lone wide out for St. Mary's. Fisher and Spicer in the backfield. It'll be Fisher going to the right side, and he plows his way up across the 45 to the 46.
Back in the 1940s, they used to have a play called Student Body Right. I think that was the 21st century version of that play. If you saw that, you had at least 4 yellow helmets kind of leading the way for Julius Fisher on that pitch to the right side, and then got them to where they want to be on third down, which is 3rd and short.
They have been efficient on 3rd down tonight. 4 out of 5. 3 out of 6, excuse me. Howell is back to pass. Changes direction and lobs it over to Tester, who is hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss back to the 40-yard line, and that ignites the Wapakoneta fans.
Well, Landon Hall wasn't able to get his screen pass to him offensively going. This one he sniffed out and got a big sack, well, not a sack, but tackle for loss on that. So a missed opportunity in terms of field position and a 3rd and short as the Rough Riders lose yardage on this.
Here you see another look at it. It's Howell lobbing it out to Tester, and then
And I tell you what, even if Hall doesn't make that tremendous tackle, Corey Crawford was right there, and there was just probably not going anywhere on that play.
And before the 4th down play for St. Mary's, Coach Moyer taking the timeout to give his offense a little more time to work with when they get the ball back. Well, St. Mary's now facing a 4th and 9.
That makes a lot of sense. You give your offense the maximum amount of time, and for them it's not as much about time, it's just opportunities, because Cameron Locke could take it to the house on this punt, and on any given play, whether it's off a pass play or off a handoff or a pitch, if he gets the right crease, he could go the distance.
He is one of the top return men in the Western Buckeye League as far as punts go. And he has returned 2 of them for touchdowns so far this year. And the snap is botched, and this one is going to be covered by the Redskins back at the 27-yard line. So that's a fantastic opportunity created by their special teams unit.
Yeah, and definitely, that's not what the Rough Riders could get. That's, I believe, their 12th lost fumble of the year, and that's going to tremendously change the rhythm of the game. Even if you punt that away and make them have to go 60, 70 yards with a minute and a half, much, much different than only 26 yards. As you see, it's a little bit of a low punt, or assumed snap, and he just doesn't handle it cleanly.
Flags, well, the play stopped as the timeout is taken by Coach Moyer before that play started. And we will take a break here as the Redskins set up with a golden opportunity to take the lead. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
For over 100 years, the Stolly Insurance Team has been looking out for you.
We have access to major insurance companies all over the country.
But together, we can customize an insurance program that will offer you the best coverage for the best premium.
Let us look out for you. Give us a call for a personalized proposal today.
Proudly featuring Motorist Insurance, Stolly Insurance in Lima, Wapak, Salina, and Lakeview. Representing Motorist Insurance Group and other fine insurance companies. Stolly Insurance.
Sure, you don't need a set-top box to watch cable, but without one, you're not getting everything your TV has to offer. Add a set-top box from TSC to your television and get more channels. Get a channel guide that tells you all about the shows. Run multiple devices through one universal remote, and you can even add DVR and HD channels. Get everything your TV has to offer with a set-top box. Call TSC and ask for your set-top box today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
1 minute and 21 seconds remaining here in the first half. And the Redskins trying to take advantage of a turnover by St. Mary's that sets them up at the 26-yard line on the Rough Riders side of the field. Coach Moyer taking a timeout just before this play. Here's a handoff to Cameron Locke straight up the middle, and he fights his way down to the 15-yard line. Be close to a first down for Cameron Locke.
Yep, and they're going to call it a first down. The Redskins, however, are back up on the ball. Going no huddle.
Play took just 5 seconds off the clock. Huffman out of the shotgun. Again, the handoff. This time Landon Hall spins his way, stays on his feet inside the 15, and fights his way down to the 11-yard line.
Tell you what, Landon Hall's made some impressive plays, including recovering that fumble on the punt. For him to retain his feet on that spin move was mighty impressive.
Under a minute to play now. Huffman out of the shotgun. Looking left side, fires it out there, caught by Locke inside the 5 and pulled down as he gets to the 3-yard line. I believe that was Slife on the tackle.
And having all kinds of weapons kind of spread out. You had Locke in the backfield on first down, and since then he's been split out. So successful there on the slant.
Huffman with the handoff to Hall, and he is going to be hit and dropped at the 5-yard line. A loss of a couple on the play. And with just 30 seconds left in the half, Coach Moyer taking a timeout.
And that time is Matt Patton taking out a little bit of frustration off the muffed punt with a tremendous tackle.
30 seconds remaining, and 7 will walk off, knocking on the door. We'll be back.
We'll take a break as well. Just 30 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Tied at 7. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
Come out to Astro Lanes in the Loft Bar and Grill, where you can find great food, good drinks, fun games, and of course, bowling. Astro Lanes, a great place to spend some spare time.
Second down and goal for the Redskins at the 5-yard line. Huffman with the snap, back to pass, lobs it right side of the end zone, incomplete. That ball was tipped before it reached Cameron Locke, and it ended up behind him.
Yeah, Austin Howell able to knock that away. And your play calling is going to be kind of skewed right here because you used your last time out. There's 28 seconds left, so they really didn't want to take the chance of getting tackled inbounds and having to hustle up. Now there's third down. You might consider running the ball right here because you could probably still hustle up to the line. But, you know, still not having a timeout does come into your thinking with play calling.
Huffman has worked almost exclusively out of the shotgun on this play, or on this drive rather. Locke out of the backfield. Huffman right side, end zone, touchdown, Ethan Good.
Ethan Good for the second straight week has connected with Aaron Huffman for a touchdown, and that was a big touchdown for the Redskins as it's given them the lead for the first time with only 25 seconds left in the half.
Ethan Good, second leading receiver on this Redskin team, and they used Cameron Locke as kind of a distraction out to the left side, Paul, and then fired it over to the right, connecting with Good. Myers' extra point is up, and it is good. No, it was no good, excuse me.
It's wide right.
Wide right, okay. 25 seconds left here in the second quarter, and the Redskins on top. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
The Wapakoneta Daily News, bringing you local news and more since 1905. With subscriptions starting at just 35 cents a day, the Wapakoneta Daily News is Wapak's source for timely local coverage of news, sports, classifieds, entertainment, and more. The Wapakoneta Daily News. Subscribe online today. Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. at the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
Well, the Redskins able to take advantage of the fumbled punt, and they get into the end zone to take the lead. On the ensuing kickoff, the Rough Riders covered it at the 26-yard line, and a flag comes down on their first play of this possession.
Yeah, but that touchdown drive, I believe it was, 26 yards? You know, to me, that's the biggest stat. Instead of having to go 60 yards for a touchdown drive with a minute and a half to go, they only had to go 26 yards because the Rough Riders defense made it tough on them. But Huffman looked pretty impressive working on that shotgun and then completed a couple slant passes, one to Locke and then the touchdown there to Ethan Good.
Penalty against the Rough Riders backs them up to the 15, no, inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
So, you know, the Rough Riders, you know, they probably have mixed emotions because they obviously don't want to be losing at this stage in the game. But with that mixed extra point, that can be really, really big down the stretch.
And it doesn't look like the Rough Riders are in a big hurry to run a play here before the end of the half. They will not. They will go to the locker room trailing by 6 in what has been a very entertaining ball game so far. Redskins on top at the break. You are watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
TSC can save you money.
How?
TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's the Merge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet in one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan only from TSC.
TSC. Give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Call TSC.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
When you see an orange truck, you think G.A. Windsor & Son Company. But the next time you see an orange G.A. Windsor & Son truck, we want you to think green. Why green? Because G.A. Windsor & Son are the original recyclers. Using a modern fleet of trucks, G.A. Windsor & Son Company collects food co-products from restaurants, food retailers, and food manufacturers in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Kentucky. These food co-products are used to manufacture quality livestock and pet care feed ingredients. So the next time you see an orange G.A. Windsor & Son truck, think green.
We are state of the art.
We are professional.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have a great day. We are service you can trust.
We are here for you.
With custom fabrication, a variety of roofing options, and exceptional roofing knowledge and expertise, Frost Roofing is committed to providing top-notch quality service on every project. To learn more, visit us online at frost-roofing.com and follow us on social media.
Halftime here at Harmon Field, and the Redskins with the lead at the break, 13-7 over the St. Mary's Rough Riders. Let's take a look at the first half scoring. The Rough Riders got the ball to start the ball game, but they took their good, sweet time getting down the field. 19 plays, 73 yards, and 10 minutes and 37 seconds later, Howell took it in from 1 yard out, and Voorhees knocked in the extra point to give the Rough Riders the 7-0 lead with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. The Redskins answered back on their next possession at the 8:33 mark, and that cockerel run from 3 yards out gave us a 7-7 score. Then that punt fumble right there led to great field position for the Redskins, which in turn led to this 5-yard connection from Aaron Huffman to Ethan Good. The extra point attempt, however, was no good, and that took us to our halftime score of 13-7.
And a kind of missed extra point. Tristan Meyer, who was WBL Kicker of the Year last year and second-team All-State. That's his 4th miss of the year, actually. The first 3, however, were blocks. That's the first one he's actually missed that was not a block.
All right, Paul, let's go ahead and take a look at first half statistics if we could.
Yeah, with the long drawn-out drives, there's actually not that many big numbers to look at. Teams are relatively even in terms of first down. St. Mary's 7 and Walpock 6. In total plays, St. Mary's has 30 plays for 87 yards. Walpock has 21 plays for 102 yards. And time of possession, St. Mary's with a 16:49 to 7-minute and 11 advantage. Individually, again, not eye-popping numbers for the Rough Riders. Julius Fisher leads the way with 48 yards rushing and a touchdown. Spicer with 46 yards, so he's kind of being held in check for being one of the leading rushers in the Western Buckeye League. The Redskins, Cameron Locks only has 42 yards on 7 carries, and he has 3 catches for 23 yards. Cockrell has 17 yards and a touchdown. Aaron Huffman, an efficient 5 for 8 passing, only 34 yards, but a big touchdown there to Ethan Good, who also has 2 catches for the game.
So this ball game, Paul, as we talked about at the very beginning, has playoff implications, as the Redskins have pretty much punched their ticket. They've got a share of the Western Buckeye League title wrapped up already, as we take a look at the computer rankings.
Yeah, and basically, mathematically, Walpock is basically into the playoffs right now, and obviously would totally secure that with a win here tonight. St. Mary's kind of playing for their playoff lives. Currently, right now, 7th, so the playoffs, if they would begin now, they would be in. However, if they would happen to lose this game, and they got a tough game next week against Ottawa Glandorf, they would not make it. If they would win both games this week and next week, they are definitely in. And if they win one and lose one, then they got to ask for a little bit of help, but they still, odds would look kind of good. So somewhat clear cut, somewhat for St. Mary's. Continue to win, and you're going to be playing some extra games for the first time since 2008.
So that's all part of the excitement that's wrapped up into what is always an exciting game when these two teams get together. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll have the start of the second half, and it's yours next on Game Face Ohio.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Come out to Astro Lanes in the Loft Bar and Grill, where you can find great food, good drinks, fun games, and of course, bowling. Astro Lanes, a great place to spend some spare time.
Back here for the start of the second half, and the Wapakoneta Redskins will get the ball to open this second half. They had 3 possessions in the first half and got into the end zone on 2 of the 3 possessions. A missed extra point the only blemish for them offensively, really, Paul.
And we'll see if that comes into play down the stretch. Remember, the Rough Riders actually won a game earlier this year against Van Wert, where there was a missed extra point came into play and then came away with a 21-20 victory.
St. Mary's has now lost 2 out of their last 3 games, however. Cameron Locke will bring it to the near side of the field. He spins around to the 30, stays on his feet, and gets knocked down at the 34-yard line. So decent starting field position for the Redskins on their first possession of the second half.
This is the 110th meeting between these two big rivals. Wapak has won a school record 5 straight in this matchup, and coincidentally enough, Doug Fry, who's been on both sides, is 13-3 in this matchup, including out of that 5 straight. He was head coach of the Wapak Redskins for 4 of those wins.
Huffman will be under center, 2 receivers to his right on the far side of the field, and a flag comes down before this play starts. And I'm going to say that that's going to go against the Rough Riders.
Yeah, again, to clarify, in high school football, you don't get that chance to get back before the ball snap. As soon as you get into the neutral zone, it's an automatic flag. So a free 5 yards for the Redskins on that encroachment penalty by the Rough Riders.
Paul, is there a reason for the difference in those 2 rules, or is it just random?
I'm not sure it's random. I'm sure there's an excellent reason, but you know, there's just some differences amongst the different levels, and I'm sure it has to do with protection.
Cockrell up the middle of the field. He takes a pretty good lick as he gets to the end of that run, but he's going to be 1 yard shy of the first down.
Yeah, he didn't make the first hit, but Julius Fisher made the most vicious hit coming from behind to be able to hit Cockrell, but he does get about 4 yards on that. So this is going to lead a second and short following that first down penalty.
It'll be second and a long one. Ethan Good wide to the right. He's the lone wideout. Cockrell and Locke in the backfield behind Huffman. It'll be Cockrell again to the right side, and he picks up the first down up to the 48-yard line.
So I always really feel the first drive of the second half may be a lot of times the most important of the game, especially in a tight game where the Redskins could move out to a 2-score lead if they would happen to score on this drive, and the Rough Riders could really, change the game if they would happen to get a quick stop and the ball back.
Same formation here on first down and 10. And this time the handoff goes to Cameron Locke. He goes to the right side and back up to the middle, and he gets across the midfield stripe and to the 48-yard line on the Rough Riders side of the field, a gain of about 5 yards.
Yeah, I think William Bayham, who is trying out right now, might have got the tackle right there, but Locke looked like he had some running room on the cutback.
So second down and 5 coming up now. And the Redskins staying with that same formation here again on second down. This time it'll be Cockrell up the middle, and he's going to be stopped after a gain of a couple. Gets to the 45-yard line, making a 3-yard gain on second down.
Nice team tackle right there by the Rough Riders, leading the way with Grant Keith right there, and also Chase Roop, as we mentioned, number 17, got injured in week 2 against Van Wert. Now kind of getting back into the rotation, now playing some linebacker once again during his senior year. So great to see the senior recover from an injury to continue to play.
Third down and short. Similar formation, they flip it around here, and again a flag, and this time we'll see if it looks like St. Mary's came across the line again, and they did, and that's going to give the Redskins a free first down.
Yeah, Aaron Huffman with the hard count, able to draw off the Rough Riders, so once again be able to move the change via penalty. And that is, I believe, the 5th penalty of the game for the St. Mary's Rough Riders. As our stat guy, A.J. Lisi, points out to us.
Wait, you're talking about a guy that's critical in the clutch. That's Lisi. Huffman under center, handoff. Cameron Locke up the middle of the field to the 37-yard line. Gain of 3 on first down. The Redskins have really brought the offense into the middle of the field on this possession. They really haven't gone to the outside a lot, if at all, on this possession.
Yeah, that looked, I was trying to identify the blocking scheme right there. It looked to be a lot more base blocking, at least on that right-hand side. It opened up a lane, so it wasn't so much of a cutback as just kind of a plan between the tackles play.
Here is Locke again. He brings it back to the middle of the field, and he's going to get a first down as he gets to the 28-yard line.
Well, that time he actually got an assist from the backside pursuit of the Rough Riders. I think he was taken down a little bit short of the sticks, but when the momentum of the defenders came to make the play, when the back had pushed him ahead just enough to be able to give him a first down.
They'll spot it at the 29-yard line. And the 7th play of this drive coming up. Ethan Good wide to the left. And the handoff will go to Miracle coming around from the far side, and he's going to get down to the 26-yard line. A gain of 3 on that first down play.
And Miracle got hung up with his tight end, Case Childs, right there. Otherwise, that play could have really went. There was a huge hole over there, but that disrupted the play just enough to allow the pursuit for the Rough Riders to come and make the play.
Paul, is that a play that we saw Cameron Locke take that handoff on a few times last year?
Yeah, last year. Yes, definitely. Cameron Locke played a totally different role last year with them having Keaton Metz and John Eaton in the backfield. So he kind of was that guy that they give the ball to on that reverse quite a bit, on that counter quite a bit.
Here's Locke up the middle of the field to the 5 and down to the end zone. Touchdown. Cameron Locke breaks one open up the middle of the field for 26 yards.
So as you alluded to earlier, instead of trying to do their dams on the outside like they traditionally do, they decided to try to stay between the tackles, and it was successful for them as Cameron Locke gets the ball into the end zone and gives that Rough Riders a 2-touchdown deficit now.
So now the Redskins will go for 2 here. They will try to make up for that missed extra point on the last touchdown.
We'll see what they end up calling here. It tends to be a lot of teams like to pass the ball more often than not here on 2-point conversions. We'll see what Coach Moyer.
They move Cockrell out of the backfield, and the pitch goes to Locke coming to the near side, looking for the corner. He's hung up, and he's going to be stopped short of the goal line. So the 2-point conversion is no good. And with 7:52 remaining here in the third quarter, the Redskins lead 19-7. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
5 yards. 4 minutes, 1 second. Wow, 26-yard goal.
The Wapakoneta Daily News, bringing you local news and more since 1905. With subscriptions starting at just 35 cents a day, the Wapakoneta Daily News is Wapak's source for timely local coverage of news, sports, classifieds, entertainment, and more. The Wapakoneta Daily News. Subscribe online today.
For over 100 years, the Stolly Insurance Team has been looking out for you. We have access to major insurance companies all over the country. But together, we can customize an insurance program that will offer you the best coverage for the best premiums.
Let us look out for you. Give us a call for a personalized proposal today.
Proudly featuring Motorist Insurance, Stolly Insurance in Lima, Wapak, Salina, and Lakeview. Representing Motorist Insurance Group and other fine insurance companies. Stolly Insurance.
Well, the Wapakoneta Redskins got the ball to start this second half, and they put together an 8-play, 65-yard drive that covered just over 4 minutes and ended with a 26-yard run by Cameron Locke. The 2-point conversion was no good, and they now lead 19-7. Pretty good drive put together by the Redskins there, Paul.
It is, and that's exactly what Coach Moore would want to come out and extend this lead by having a long possession of their own that leads to points.
Tristan Meyer puts the foot into it. It'll be fielded. No, gets by Spicer back to the 1-yard line. He brings it back to the 5 and is met by red jerseys at the 10-yard line. So St. Mary's going to be back up to start their first possession, rather, of this second half.
And sometimes the Rough Riders can just be their own worst enemy. In that case, just wasn't able to handle the kickoff. Cost them a lot of yardage. And, for a team that's being down, 19-7, giving up 19 straight points after that first long drive to start the game, they've got an uphill battle ahead of them to have to go 89 yards against this stout defense.
Well, there may not be enough time left in this game for them to go 89 yards. Here's Spicer. He goes off the right side and coughs up the ball. It's going to be covered by Landon Hall at the 30-yard line. And another big turnover for St. Mary's sets up the Redskins with fantastic field position. And I believe that was Elsas rather than Landon Hall that covered that one.
Yep, sure was. Eric Spicer just kind of came out, had a good run going, but I mentioned they tend to be their own worst enemies at times. That's their 13th lost fumble of the year. Here we can see the play, see what happens. I see Landon Hall with the tackle, and he's just, when he wrapped up, knocked it out from Spicer, and then Elsas able to recover it. So the second time this game, the Redskins are going to get tremendous field position off of a Rough Rider fumble.
I knew Landon Hall was involved in that play somehow. That's why I said his name earlier. Redskins set up at the 30-yard line, 1st down and 10. And the officials discussing something. Now ready to go. Redskins coming off an 8-play drive that they were able to get into the end zone on their opening possession. Now handed the ball at the 30-yard line.
And Cameron Locke up to 85 yards rushing on the...
They fake the handoff, and Huffman will keep it himself. He goes up the center of the field, still on his feet as he gets down to the 10, and he's going to be knocked down to the 6-yard line. Aaron Huffman put it in high gear there as he cut to the middle of the field.
And Aaron Huffman, you can't forget about him. He's 6'6", 200 pounds, and he gets lost in the shuffle sometimes with the playmakers that they have on offense, and you think he's just a passer, but he is a very athletic, big guy.
He's got the long stride.
Here we can see here, totally faking the counter right there, pulling teams as a naked bootleg is what they used to call.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line. It'll be Cockrell off the left side, and it looks like they're going to mark him down at about the 1. Boy, and St. Mary's is going to be in a desperate situation if the Redskins are able to punch this one into the end zone here.
In terms of game action, from the time where they fumbled that punt to now, things have gone really, really south for the Rough Riders.
Locke and Cockrell in the backfield behind Huffman under center. It'll be Cockrell again. He's hit in the backfield and stopped for a loss on that 2nd down and goal run. So it'll be 3rd down and goal for the Redskins.
Yeah, really nice job right there. It's hard to tell, who made the first contact. Some sort of defensive lineman kind of busted through, and it might have been Reed Aller to be able to get some contact in the backfield. And, this would be a tremendous stop if somehow the Rough Riders are able to keep the Redskins out of the end zone here.
Redskins will come to the line of scrimmage. Miracle is the lone wideout over here to the near side. Hand off to Locke, left side, and he is into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown tonight. Excuse me, his 2nd touchdown tonight.
2nd touchdown of the night and 2nd one of this quarter. Remember, he came in leading the league in touchdowns. That's his 24th overall. And a tremendous start to this 3rd quarter for the Redskins.
So Tristan Meyer out to attempt the extra point here. The hold is down, the kick is up, and this one is good. 5:58 remaining 3rd quarter, and the Redskins have opened this thing up a little bit. They lead 26-7. You are watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
TSC can save you money.
How?
TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's the merge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet in one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan only from TSC.
TSC. Give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Call TSC.
We are state of the art.
We are professional.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have a great day. We are Service You Can Trust.
We are here for you.
With custom fabrication, a variety of roofing options, and exceptional roofing knowledge and expertise, Frost Roofing is committed to providing top-notch quality service on every project. To learn more, visit us online at frost-roofing.com and follow us on social media.
Well, the Redskins take advantage of another St. Mary's turnover and go 4 plays, 30 yards. And Cameron Locke gets his second touchdown of the night to give them a 26-7 lead. Tristan Meyer puts the foot into it. It'll be fielded by Voorhees at the 11-yard line. He's back across the 20, and he'll set St. Mary's up at the 27-yard line. So the Redskins taking advantage of 2 turnovers, Paul, and both of those turnovers have led directly to points.
It has, and as we talked about before the game, as part of the keys to the game, that's something that Wapak seems to excel on, is taking care of the football. They only have 5 giveaways on the year, and St. Mary's has 20 for comparison giveaways on the year. So, the Rough Riders, they do a lot of really good things, but at times they just kind of hurt themselves.
Spicer back with the ball. He goes off the left side, tries to cut it up to the middle, and he'll go down after a gain of about 4.
And Landon Hall making his name in this game right now with a big tackle there.
Is it too early to change the game plan if you're the St. Mary's Rough Riders?
You can't afford to have as long of a drive as you did to start the game, but you need to still kind of dance with the girl that you brought to the dance, and do what you do. Now you can mix some other things in, and understand that when your offense is going, the idea is to wear their defense down a bit, to where all of a sudden you start to get more bigger chunks of yardage in the second half, and then hopefully find a crease. Unfortunately, for the Rough Riders, the Redskins really excel against stopping the run. The touchdown on the ground that they gave up earlier today was only the 4th rushing touchdown they gave up all year. So they're a quick defense that excels on controlling the big play.
And that ball is loose in the backfield for the Rough Riders as the exchange between Howell and Fisher was botched. And Howell covered it at the 35-yard line, but it's going to be a loss on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down for the Rough Riders.
And Coach Fry going to leave the offense out there and going to go for this.
St. Mary's will come to the line of scrimmage deep in their own territory. They're 2 out of 3 on 4th down. And flags are going to come down here as
Spicer that time kind of rocked out of his stance, and Coach Fry's got to be frustrated as his Rough Rider team, which is still a relatively young team with a lot of underclassmen, starting to shoot themselves in the foot here a little bit in the second half.
Second time that they've had a penalty on a 4th down that has forced them to go away from going for it and end up kicking the ball away. And I believe it was the last one where the fumble
I think you're
led
right.
to a score. Good snap here. Patton will put the foot into. That one is blocked by Crawford and scooped up by Keel, and he's going to run it into the end zone for a touchdown.
So getting it done in all phases of the game are the Redskins, as they have started to explode here in the third quarter. As you mentioned, Corey Crawford, the standout two-way player going both ways, comes up the middle, gets a big paw on the punt, and then Dylan Keel sprints into the end zone for the 3rd score of the game of just this quarter for the Redskins.
So Tristan Meyer will be out to attempt the extra point. He'll be kicking it right into your living room here. Hold is down, the kick is up, and this one is good. 3:48 remaining here in the third quarter that the Rough Riders can't wait to get out of. 33-7 now in favor of the Redskins. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With Telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
When you see an orange truck, you think GA Windsor & Son Company. But the next time you see an orange GA Windsor & Son truck, we want you to think green. Why green? Because GA Windsor & Son are the original recyclers. Using a modern fleet of trucks, GA Windsor & Son Company collects food co-products from restaurants, food retailers, and food manufacturers in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Kentucky. These food co-products are used to manufacture quality livestock and pet care feed ingredients. So the next time you see an orange GA Windsor & Son truck, think green.
Back here in the third quarter, 3:48 remaining in this third quarter, which has been a nightmarish quarter for the St. Mary's Rough Riders because at the beginning of this quarter, they were only down by 6. 3 touchdowns by the Redskins in this third quarter have put them in a 33-7 hole. Here's the return by Voorhees back across the 20 to the 22-yard line, and that's where the Rough Riders offense will take over.
And that's been abnormal for the Rough Riders. As you mentioned, the third quarter has usually been a very successful quarter for them. And it just has not worked out for them so far. Now, they still kind of got to get back within themselves because they still have a lot to play for, even if they're not able to be successful here. If they were able to win next week, they still have a really good chance at the playoffs. So what they need to do is kind of regather themselves and just look at, trying to play to improve their execution because they proved that first drive they can score against a really good team as long as they don't hurt themselves with penalties and putting the ball on the ground and continue to have positive plays.
Right.
But if they put themselves behind schedule with negative plays, if they put the ball on the ground, they're going to have a tough time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like every mistake that they've made tonight has resulted in points for the Redskins. Here is Spicer, and he's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage. May have gotten a yard up to the 25-yard line, and a late flag coming in. And you see Aaron Huffman clapping. After seeing that flag, we'll see what the call is.
I think it's actually on St. Mary's. Okay. It looked like it was one of the skill guys for St. Mary's was down blocking.
Well, all of the flags seem to be going against the Rough Riders tonight.
Yeah, and that looked like a preventable one. I think it was an after the play dead ball foul as we're going to see.
That is the case, so probably some frustration coming out.
So they've had a lot of penalties, but most of them have been of the 5-yard variety. That is their first major penalty that's going to move them way back. And because it is a dead ball foul, that down does count, so it's going to remain third down.
And it pushes them all the way back to the 12-yard line. They need to get out to the 32-yard line for a first down. Looks like actually they'll spot it at the 13, so. And now a timeout going to be taken by St. Mary's before this third down and a very long play to come. We'll take a break here. When we come back, more football action for you. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
Hello?
Call dropped?
Hello?
No more minutes? Lost your phone? Don't worry. Telephone service from TSC is always crystal clear. Never runs out of minutes. Never has a dead battery. And most importantly, in an emergency, it displays your address for 911. Plus, TSC keeps you connected with free calling in our expanded calling area. Ask about telephone service from TSC today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Well, the St. Mary's Rough Riders now facing a third down and 20 at their own 13-yard line. And now will be under center. The handoff will go to Spicer, who goes off the right side, and he's met quickly by the Redskin defense. Corey Crawford there among others to shut down that play at about the 16-yard line, and Coach Fry's group is going to have to kick it away again.
As you mentioned, this could not be more different than the first quarter. The first quarter, Wapak didn't even touch the ball until there's 1:20 left. This time, just whatever could go wrong for the Redskins, or for the Rough Riders, has gone wrong, and they've given up 20 points already this quarter, and they're putting the ball away again.
Patton does get the kickoff here. It will hit on the St. Mary's side of the field, and Cameron Locke will let it roll. It'll be down by St. Mary's at the Wapakoneta 40-yard line. So this Redskin offense that has been clicking on all cylinders in this second half will have the ball with great field position at their own 40-yard line.
Well, offensively, they have 2 touchdowns, but remember, one of them was set up with off a fumble, an excellent field position. The other touchdown was actually a blocked punt.
43-yard kick by Patton. The scoreboard actually it's 33-7 now in favor of the Redskins for some reason. Our graphic not registering correctly. Here is Cameron Locke, and he has room across the middle of the field. He's going to get close to the midfield stripe and close to another first down.
And Austin Howell makes the touchdown savings tackle from behind, and the Redskins really starting to kind of show what made them the 2-time defending WBL champions.
Mm-hmm. Good, the lone wideout. He lines up to the right side, and it will be Cockrell up the middle of the field, and he's going to pick up the first down and more into St. Mary's territory to the 42-yard line.
Well, the Rough Rider defense is actually seemed to be really concerned about the outside, and they're leading more space and gaps in the middle than you traditionally see them. And I think that's what Coach Moyer has been seeing, and that's why they've been running the ball between the tackles a lot more.
Mm-hmm. That last possession, and so far on this possession, the Redskins have operated almost exclusively out of this formation. There is Cameron Locke doing what he does best, bringing it to the near side, getting a block from Huffman. He's still on his feet, and he's finally going to be knocked out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. That was an impressive run.
Yeah, if any run that's not a touchdown can show you the type of player that Cameron Locke is, that would be the play where you think you have him for a little bit, but you really don't. And he's got some space, and he's got some moves to be able to get open, as we're going to see her hopefully in the replay. Hopefully we can see that play at some time again. But that was a 23 yard run right there for number 23, Cameron Locke.
And he did a fantastic job of using Huffman as a blocker to get 5 more yards at the end of that play. Here is Cockrell going right side, and he runs right into the St. Mary's Rough Riders defense, goes down at the 16-yard line. Let's take another look at that Locke play.
So you can see it's supposed to go off the right-hand side. They get some movement, but then he just sees a place to cut back, gets away from the arm tackle, and then he sees he's got a blocker and gets another chance, doesn't go out of bounds, and he just gets some extra yards and keeps those legs going. He gets a lot of credit and notice for his speed and agility, but he's a tough little kid too.
Mm-hmm. Dynamic player to watch. South is in there in the backfield as Huffman is back to pass. He will lob it into the end zone looking for Miracle, and he will haul it in.
Huffman with a deep drop back right there to be able to get the ball to Miracle. That's his second touchdown catch of the year is Miracle, and the second touchdown pass of the game for Aaron Huffman, and you could not have thrown a more beautiful ball there on that corner to throw.
Boy, Aaron Huffman just dropping it into the hands of Court Miracle in the corner of the end zone. He had a wide open Ethan Good on the far side, but he decided to go for the home run, and he delivered. Extra point by Meyer is up, and it is good. And so with just 30 seconds remaining here in this third quarter, it's the Redskins 39 and the Riders 7. And there's a flag down on the play, so we'll hold off on going to break and see what the flag's about here on this extra point attempt. And we'll see if maybe they're going to have to re-kick this thing.
Yeah, you don't see the hold called a lot in high school football on extra points, so For a lot of teams, this would make a major difference for an extra point at the high school level. Tristan Meyer, from a leg standpoint, the distance will not affect him.
Right. He has been a weapon for Coach Moyer over the past couple of seasons.
But, getting back to this, what a nightmare quarter this is for the Rough Riders. You mentioned this is a 6-point game not too long ago.
Right.
And now this is going to be subject to the running clock.
Yes, it will be. Meyer will have to back this one up. He's going to have to kick this one from the hold of Aaron Huffman all the way out at the 22-yard line. Hold is down. This under some pressure, gets the kick away, but plenty of leg for Tristan Meyer to knock that one through. And so, with 30 seconds remaining here in this third quarter of play, the Redskins now with a 40-7 lead. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
TV everywhere.
TV everywhere?
That's right, everywhere. You can watch TV from your tablet, your phone, your laptop, any mobile device, anywhere you want.
Laundromat?
Yes.
Grocery store?
Yes.
Park?
Yes.
What if I wanted to watch TV at home?
All your favorite networks all the time. It's TV everywhere from TSC.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Well, 30 seconds left in this third quarter, and it couldn't have gone any worse for the St. Mary's Rough Riders here in quarter number 3, as the Redskins have gotten into the end zone 4 times now. And the last one on a 16-yard connection from Aaron Huffman to Court Miracle, a 5-play, 60-yard drive in just under 2 minutes. And now the Redskins with a 40-7 lead.
And you'll notice that the clock is running already, because the OHSA instituted the rule when in the second half, once it's a 30-point game, the clock is going to continue to run.
And special teams miscues have haunted the St. Mary's Rough Riders, and this one, as the ball was tipped by Voorhees, it'll go out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. So they're going to start this possession at the 9-yard line, and they have had some issues tonight, Paul.
They have, and unfortunately a lot of them are self-inflicted, and that's something that's got to be very frustrating to Coach Fry and his staff and this Rough Rider team as they look to, regroup when they get a chance to watch this film, knowing that, yeah, they're playing a great team in Wapak, but, they got to hold themselves to a higher standard so that they can play next week and hopefully for them finish 7-3 and still have the hopes alive to play playoffs.
Well, that play will be the final one of the third quarter. We will come back for the start of the final frame with the Redskins on top by a score of 40-7. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
Sure, you don't need a set-top box to watch cable, but without one, you're not getting everything your TV has to offer. Add a set-top box from TSC to your television and get more channels. Get a channel guide that tells you all about the shows. Run multiple devices through one universal remote, and you can even add DVR and HD channels. Get everything your TV has to offer with a set-top box. Call TSC and ask for your set-top box today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
For over 100 years, the Stolly Insurance Team has been looking out for you. We have access to major insurance companies all over the country. And together, we can customize an insurance program that will offer you the best coverage for the best premiums.
Let us look out for you. Give us a call for a personalized proposal today.
Proudly featuring Motorist Insurance, Stolly Insurance in Lima, Wapak, Salina, and Lakeview. Representing Motorist Insurance Group and other fine insurance companies. Stolly Insurance.
Back here for the start of the fourth quarter with the Redskins on top by a score of 40-7. St. Mary's with the ball at their own 9-yard line. It'll be a 2nd down and 10 as Howell breaks the huddle. He took the snap and carried it himself out of the shotgun on the first play of this possession. He works out of the shotgun again here, and he will fire it out to the near side, looking for Slife, but that one's incomplete, broken up by Elsas.
Yeah, nice coverage by Elsas, and then Slife is one of their best deep threats for the Rough Riders.
The Wapakoneta Chamber of Commerce is hosting a Meet the Candidates on Tuesday, October 13th. You can hear from the candidates running for Wapakoneta Mayor and Wapakoneta City Auditor, as well as learn about the 3 renewal levies on the ballot. The event is being held at the large group room at Wapakoneta High School at 7 p.m. TSC will be airing the event live on its Channel 2, and replays will be shown on Game Face Ohio. Pass here on 3rd down, fired out to the right side and caught by Mays, but not enough for the first down. So it'll be a 4th down and about 3 for St. Mary's, and I guess you have nothing to lose.
Have nothing to lose.
Here.
You know, when it was a tight ball game in the first half, you were about 10 yards downfield. You're inside your own 30, and you went for it. So Coach Fry, again, looking to see if his offense can pick up the 4th down.
The handoff is to Spicer going to the right side, and he is going to be caught short of the first down. And the Rough Riders will turn the ball over on downs. So another opportunity for Wapakoneta as they exploded in the 3rd quarter with 4 touchdowns, helped out by some miscues by St. Mary's. Paul, we started this broadcast as we like to each week with Astro Lane's Pizza.
One of the highlights of our Friday nights is coming here and getting some pizza from Astro Lanes, and you know, we encourage everybody who gets a chance, head on out to Astro Lanes, bowl a few games, and take some time to eat their tremendous pizza as well as full menu.
I was going to say, you know, it's a great pizza place, and they also have a bowling alley.
Yes, they do.
So thanks to them for providing our pregame meal again tonight. So the Redskins with another opportunity here. They'll have the ball at the St. Mary's 17-yard line.
In between that failed 4th point conversion attempt and some turnovers, the Redskins have had some really tremendous field position and short fields to work with.
Some substitutions offensively for the Redskins, and I believe that was Zach Chambers with the carry there.
Yeah, with the exception of Aaron Huffman, it looks like it's the full number 2's lineup in there for the Redskins.
Miracle just checked out of the game as Conley checks in. Conley will be wide to the left. Over here on the near side is Ryan Hartman. And the handoff will go to the right side. And with the carry is Gertzner. We've seen Gertzner before this season at the tail end of a couple other ball games.
Yeah, you know, for the Redskins, as to their credit, as they've had a tremendous season so far, they've had an opportunity to get some quality reps for a lot of their young guys, and this is once again another major penalty against the Rough Riders. That's going to be a personal foul face mask penalty to move it inside the 10-yard line for the Redskins. But yeah, you know, so this is just, you know, quality playing time that they're getting right now. This isn't just run 1-2 plays and being done. There's a full 8.5 minutes left in this half, and you're inside the 10-yard line against your arch rival.
Huffman under center. And the handoff goes straight up the middle and down to the 1-yard line and being stopped there. I believe that was Miller, but we'll have to check the number.
Yeah, it was Zach Miller.
When they clear the pile. Okay.
Yeah.
So Miller with that carry, and that sets them up first and goal at the 1, second down and goal at the 1. Redskins will be on the road next week as they travel to Van Wert to take on the Cougars, a much improved Cougars team. And Aaron Huffman is checked out of the ball game as Voorhees is in there at the quarterback spot. And the Rough Riders shut down this play. No gain on second down.
And that's Matt Patton shot in there to be able to make the play. Rough Riders got a lot of pride and don't want to give up another touchdown. The Redskins, with this unique kind of setup here at Harmon Field, going right into the end zone for their student body, where you can see them decked out in pink, which is, characteristic of Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. The St. Mary's crowd on the other side, the student body is doing the same thing.
Manny Voorhees at the quarterback spot for the Redskins here on a 3rd down and goal. He will hand it off to Miller, and Miller runs into the pile. Not much there. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, it's going to be just short, just inside the 1-yard line. So the youngsters here are going to try to see if they can put one more over into the end zone.
St. Mary's is going to have a short reprieve after this one because they are on the road at Ottawa-Glandorf. That's going to be our feature game next week, and it doesn't get much easier going up there.
No, we got a chance to see Ottawa-Glandorf match up against Wapak last week, and it was kind of similar where they started off pretty even with the Redskins, but then the Redskins really emerged from them later in the game, kind of like they did here tonight.
Voorhees on the keeper, and he is getting into the end zone for the touchdown. So Manny Voorhees gets his name in the scorebook.
I do believe that is his first touchdown of the year as the sophomore quarterback able to score here under the Friday night lights.
And it looks like the Redskins will keep the offense out there on the field.
Well, a lot of times, this is basically the JV offense that's in there, and a lot of times you don't have a JV kicker. At the high school level. So it looks like they're just going to go for 2 and try to run their regular offense.
So Voorhees will be under center again. Miller in the backfield behind him, and he will just take a knee. That's a classy move.
Yep, sure is a classy move there by Coach Moore.
Yep. 6:13 left in this one, 46-7 in favor of the Redskins. You are watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
Wapakoneta Daily News, bringing you local news and more since 1905. With subscriptions starting at just 35 cents a day, the Wapakoneta Daily News is Wapak's source for timely local coverage of news, sports, classifieds, entertainment, and more. The Wapakoneta Daily News. Subscribe online today.
Well, the Wapakoneta Redskins will stay unbeaten as they will improve to 9-0 with just one game left against Van Wert to play.
And most importantly, this win will go ahead and give them the outright WBL championship all by themselves. They had clinched at least a share with a 2-game lead with 2 games remaining. By winning this game over their arch rival, St. Mary's Rough Riders, they're going to clinch back-to-back outright WBL titles. And remember, they have not won back-to-back titles in the entire history of the Wapak football program.
Pooch kick here by Meyer, and it'll be fielded at the 23-yard line, and a decent return up across the 35 to the 36-yard line. That was Grant Keith on the return for St. Mary's. With the running clock, we're down to under 6 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter.
Also with this win, it looks like Walpock's going to guarantee themselves their third straight playoff appearance. And again, just to show you how far this has come, Walpock had never made even back-to-back playoff appearances until last year. So to make 3 in a row is unprecedented in this in the program's history.
Spicer out here to the near side. He's going to be brought down at the 39, a gain of 3 on the first down play.
Conversely, St. Mary's, who historically is one of the premier programs in the state, they have been to the playoffs 15 times total, but have yet to make an appearance since 2008. So they will need to take care of business next week and get just a little bit of help to be able to make the playoffs.
Howell connects with Mays over on the far sideline. He'll pick up the first down and into Redskin territory to the 46-yard line.
So, and again, because there's running clock, you kind of ignore the first down and going out of bounds. The clock continues to run.
3 receivers set for the Rough Riders, and Howell continues to work out of the shotgun. He is back to pass here. Fires it out right side. It is caught by Voorhees, and he fights his way down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. An impressive win for the Redskins here tonight, as they took advantage of each and every opportunity given to them by St. Mary's to distance themselves in the third quarter. 1 receiver to each side, and Howell will keep it himself, goes off the left side. He's tripped up at the line of scrimmage and goes down after a short gain.
And nice play there by David Haber, sophomore, be able to make the play.
It's a 3rd down and 1 coming up for St. Mary's. Under 4 minutes to play now. Howell out of the shotgun looking. Fires it right side again, caught by Voorhees, and he'll be dropped at the 30-yard line after picking up the first down. Well, Paul, similar or familiar names rather when we looked at the computer rankings there for the playoffs and who the Redskins might match up with down the road. Some of them improving over last year, others falling off a little bit as this pass over the right side and incomplete. Well, the Wapakoneta annual Halloween parade was held last night, and you can watch the replay of the parade on Game Face Ohio through the end of October. You check your local listings for times.
And that is quite an event. I attended that last night with my family, and my oldest son was a part of the parade playing in the youth football program here. And it's an exciting event. If you've not been to that, you probably have no idea how big of an event that is.
Yeah,
there's a ton of people in Wapakoneta that come from all over the place. They have bands from Jackson Center, Houston comes here, all kinds of different people and floats, and it is quite an event.
Mm-hmm. I brought my son over last year. I think he went home with 8 pounds of candy.
They definitely have a lot of candy there too.
Howell under all kinds of heat as he sets up the screen play, and it'll be caught inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line, and a first down for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, nice tackle there on the Redskins by Mitch Apple. Yeah, yet another sophomore getting some playing time here.
Howell back to pass, fires it left side, in and out of the hands of Tester, and incomplete. So that'll bring up a second down and 10. We're under 2 minutes to play here.
So again, even though with the incomplete pass, clock continues to run. The Walpock student body has emptied their bleachers and are ready to storm the field whenever Principal Scott Minning allows them to.
Back to passes, Howell fires it out right side, caught by Slife and spun out of bounds, and a late tackle over there on the far side.
Yeah, kind of a chintzy call right there. They're going to get Chris Reichenball with kind of spinning tackle out of bounds. And, you know, I think he was just kind of continuing the action of trying to make the play. As we can see here, the replay, he's making contact, he's inbounds, and he's just kind of continuing the tackle. Yeah, I know it ends up a little bit out of bounds, but I think he's just continuing the process of the tackle. He started inbound, so.
Howell, left side, it is caught and stopped short of the goal line. Good effort there by Logan Mays, but he's not able to get into the end zone.
So the Rough Riders would like to get on the scoreboard one more time to try to get some sort of this taste out of their mouth of the second half.
Yep, 33 seconds left. Howell back to pass, fires it over the middle, and that one is swatted down by Elsas, incomplete. You know, Paul, you see all the students lined up down there on the goal line, or on the back of the end zone, and want to make sure that down in the truck they're alerting our camera guys. Because
it has been dangerous here post-game.
It has been dangerous. Howell is back to pass, under some heat, rolls out to the right, now tries to take it to the end zone himself. And we'll see if he got in. It looks like he was stopped short of the goal line. And that will be the final play of tonight's ball game. Well, a statement game for the Wapakoneta Redskins as they come away a 46-7 win over their rival, the St. Mary's Rough Riders. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. You're watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.
Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. At the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
Come out to Astro Lanes in the Loft Bar and Grill, where you can find great food, good drinks, fun games, and of course, bowling. Astro Lanes, a great place to spend some spare time.
Well, the Wapakoneta Redskins took control of this ball game in the third quarter and did not let go. They come away with a 46-7 win over their Auglaize County rival, the St. Mary's Rough Riders, here tonight. And this ball game was nip and tuck at halftime because it was a 13-7 ball game, Paul. And things unraveled for St. Mary's in the third quarter. Here you see Cameron Locke getting his first of 2 touchdowns. This was a nice 26-yard touchdown run, 8 plays, 65 yards, and the touchdown on the opening possession of the second half for the Redskins. Then they were helped out by a fumble here by St. Mary's, covered by Elsas, that led to the second Cameron Locke touchdown of the night, this 1-yard run, and that put the Redskins up 26-7. They did not look back. They were able to take advantage of some special teams problems tonight. This one, a block by Corey Crawford that was scooped up by Dylan Keel here at the 25-yard line, and then he scampers down the sideline and into the end zone to make this a 33-7 Redskins lead. A few plays later, Aaron Huffman, actually you'll see Cameron Locke here put together an impressive run to elude tacklers and use his blocking to pick up 25 yards and set up a 16-yard pass here from Aaron Huffman to Court Miracle, as Huffman laid that one in perfectly from Miracle and into the end zone. 40-7. Redskins then brought in some substitutions, and Manny Voorhees able to punch it in from 1 yard out to finish off the scoring in tonight's ball game. The Redskins come away with a 46-7 win to improve to 9-0. Paul, statistically, how does it look?
Statistically, because of the short field and penalties and some other mistakes by the Rough Riders, not a lot of actual yardage. Overall, the Redskins do have the final advantage with 257 yards total compared to only 188 for the Rough Riders. But some of the bigger things about the Rough Riders were the 2 lost fumbles, 8 penalties compared to only 3 penalties for the Redskins, and just kind of some mistakes that they made that the Redskins did not. Individually, the Rough Riders, Spicer led the way with 79 yards on the ground, but again, well under his average. Julius Fisher was 51 yards on the ground. Dustin Howell, 9 for 13 passing for 56 yards. Over to the Redskins, Cameron Locke did finish with over 100 yards, 117 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Cockrell had 45 yards and a touchdown, and Manny Voorhees, as you mentioned, had a touchdown as well. Aaron Huffman, once again, very efficient, 6 for 9 passing, 50 yards and 2 touchdowns. So again, a very successful evening for the Redskins, especially where they exerted themselves big time there in that third quarter.
Yeah, it was kind of an odd game the way things played out, because St. Mary's had the ball to start the game. They put together a 19-play drive that took almost the entire first quarter to unfold, and then from there, things didn't go their way.
No, it didn't. And part of that was the execution of a tremendous team in the Wapak Redskins, and some of it are things that they're going to have to look to correct here in this coming week's practice. But the Rough Riders have a lot to play for in Week 10, as do the Redskins, who, as mentioned, congratulations to them as they ensure an outright Western Buckeye League title here tonight.
They will be on the road next week as they head over to Van Wert to take on the Cougars, and not a game you can sleep on.
No, Van Wert, they upset the Salina Bulldogs last week in overtime, and we've seen them play some really good football and have some tough luck with some tough losses. So that will not be an easy game for them next week. And as mentioned, our feature game next week that we'll do with this St. Mary's Rough Riders team going against the Ottawa Glandorf Titans, that will be a high-quality game, we believe, as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, the final score here tonight is the St. Mary's Rough Riders fall by a final score of 46-7. The Redskins improved to 9-0, 8-0 inside Western Buckeye League play. St. Mary's falls to 6-3 and 5-3 in league play. We want to thank our crew, Todd Utrip, our director, our technical director, Adam Dell, our statistician, A.J. Lisi, our camera crew tonight, who really worked hard because they were undermanned. Jim Miller, and forgetting Cody Voorhees. For Paul Sadler, I'm Dan Hearn. Thanks for joining us, everybody. The final score again here tonight. It was the Wapakoneta Redskins 46 and the Rough Riders 7. You've been watching high school football on Game Face Ohio.